Hello, everyone watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify. It's another episode of NRG Insights where we delve into the minds of mortgage brokers and mortgage broker owners and find out their wins and pitfalls and everything in between. So I'd like to welcome Shaz from Elan Property Finance today. Thanks for coming, Shaz.
Marcus, thanks for reaching out and having me. You've had some big names on this podcast, so excited to join that list.
Good. I appreciate that. So let's delve into your financial services journey. So talk to me about how you got to where you are now at Elan Property Finance.
Absolutely. So I've been in financial services for just over 10 years now. First few years of that was working for Lloyds Bank in the call center. That was just telephone banking. What's my balance? What's this? It was an okay job. It's a call center, but a lot of skills were learned around sales and communication techniques. Then I went to Barclays as a residential mortgage advisor. Again, churn and burn business, but I learned that residential clients really love you. Oh, my first house, thank you so much. And that's great, it's all good.
Yeah.
But it was quite mundane after a while, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
They made us redundant, took all the jobs up to Liverpool, and I then had 6 months of garden leave and to figure out what I was going to do. So I launched just another business, which we can talk about if you want, a burger restaurant. And then I started working in specialist kind of finance. So I started employed with a company in South Wales, working with property investors and developers. I'll be honest, Marcus, for that first year, I wasn't great because it was a big shock coming from residential straight into specialist.
Yeah. Learning curve steep.
The language, the attitude, I didn't know what a HMO was, for example, because we didn't do that. I lasted there for about a year, and then I went into a self-employed role with a company called GPS Financial down in South Wales. I was there for 3.5 years, and then I guess through organic and natural progression, I set up Elan in August last year, and actually it's our 1-year anniversary next week.
Amazing. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
It's certainly been an interesting year for a first year, especially. Well, actually, really real tale of two halves, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, set up in August, and then I guess the budget was in September, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Tale of two halves. One half being a month.
Yeah.
So, good. So talk to me about that, because obviously I know we have spoken, and I've always assumed that your brand's been around longer, and in my head, you certainly have. So that's obviously testament to your marketing and that kind of thing. So talk to me about that in regards to how you have marketed yourself in that short space of time.
So just let's unravel and dissect this. So I'd like to keep Elan Property Finance and that completely separate and have it eventually be its own standalone thing and not rely so much on me. And when it comes to me and my personal brand, so on Instagram, I'm known as Where's Shaz, all one word, Where's Shaz.
Yeah.
And that came about because when I went self-employed, I had no clients, I had no brand, I had no image, I had no hope, basically, right? So for a period of about 6 to 9 months, I was at every single networking event within a 2-hour radius. Yeah. So eventually the joke was, oh, where's Shaz today? So that became my Instagram name, and that became a personal brand. And again, a lot of this isn't intentional, but I think I am clued up on marketing, where the whole Where's Shaz thing is quite broad. It's not Shaz Mortgage Broker, Shaz Finance, it's Where's Shaz. So it's quite, I could tailor it, I could pivot whenever I want. I could start doing recruitment at some point. You know what I mean? It's quite
Mugs game, mate. You want to
So yeah, that's me. The Where's Shaz thing is what I'm known for. Meeting people, putting stuff on Instagram, finance tips. And that was growing even whilst I was self-employed. So before even Elan was a thought in my head. So that has helped a lot, because now when I go to some events, touch wood, people know who I am. There is that kind of familiarity. The ice is broken, and it just means business is a lot easier.
I think that's really important for people to remember, especially ones that are a bit scared of going on social media, in that it's just that first breakdown of the barrier. Like the reason you don't have to cold call anymore, or the reason people don't know you. Like it's a lovely thing to do when you walk into a room of people you don't really know, but you've seen their face online and they've seen your face, and you instantly click and go. It happens at industry events all the time. People go, oh, I see you, and I'm like, I know who you are. Like we did when we met. It's just one, it's a nice feeling. And two, it's already broken down that weird barrier at the beginning.
No, absolutely. The ice is broken. But I think one tip I would give to people who may be starting off in that is be yourself, because there's nothing worse. And this has happened to me a few times where I've met people and they're nothing like what they are online. And then that disconnect is so jarring. And then it's just that silence, because
I've said this before. I think I've said it before on here. I said, you cannot be really nice online and knob end up when you meet people, because
Yeah.
you get caught out straight away. And also it's like faking passion about something. It's really obvious. It shows, doesn't it? So yeah, you're right. You've got to do what you're good at, and really, and like you say, be yourself. So that makes sense. So let's go back to your social media. So what happened? Again, conscious decisions. You're on Instagram. I know you've moved a little bit onto LinkedIn, and talk to me about that kind of how that's been.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, Mike, if I was to say strategy, even though I don't call it strategy, but if I was to say strategy, Instagram is for client facing stuff. So that's where I post to, it's not even lead gen really. It's just, if you are an investor, whether you've got a broker or you haven't, these are some tips just to avoid making some bad
That is
choices.
lead gen.
It's lead gen. It's
I'm
a
so
softer
scared
lead
of
gen.
saying strategy, lead gen. Do you know what I mean? Like we do it because we want more business.
But also I think brand
We're
awareness
all
helps,
afraid to
doesn't it?
say, oh yeah, I give advice. Like I add loads of value to this
Mm.
to the financial services industry. I genuinely believe I do more than any other recruiter. I still want to work for them. You know what I mean? I don't have to hide away. Hide like it is marketing. We are trying to
It's
seek
marketing.
attention for our money.
Yeah,
So I put my
for
confidence in
me. I think I would just say for me though, it's marketing and brand awareness as opposed
yeah.
to direct lead gen. Like I can't remember the last time, Marcus, that any post or any video I've said, and if you want more help, call me or DM me because I don't need to now.
Yeah, but brand
I'm
awareness is just it all is funneling down into
it's all funnels
creating a
into lead
lead.
gen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, my lead gen though right now, again, I'm in a fortunate position because of all the foundations and the hard work that I've put in. My previous prospects and clients, they're my lead gen because they tell everyone else about me. And
Yeah.
that's a good place to be.
You know what? It goes without saying as well, and that's an important point. You've actually got to be really good at your job as well. You can't just be great at social media because
Yeah.
you've still got to get those reviews, you know?
But yeah, sorry. So Instagram is for potential client-facing stuff, lead gen. LinkedIn are used to network with people within the industry. I'm a small firm from South Wales. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, so I'm in South Wales. I want to get my voice heard. I want to be in the kind of conversations with other people making big names.
Out of
And
interest on that
yeah,
about being a name in the industry, because I think some people focus on that way too much and actually forget to focus on their clients. Why is that important to you to be involved in those conversations? Why do you think to be in industry rather than I know this, but they're both important. But
yeah, yeah.
why this side?
I think there's certain behaviors and attitudes I think I want to influence and perhaps have an open conversation about certain things. So, for example, some of the things around deal sizes, for example, like I'll be going to events in London with other brokers and they're throwing around deal sizes in the millions, which is great. And I'm doing deals of say 75 to 100K, and I know they wouldn't even look twice at those deals or they wouldn't prioritize them. Whereas like everyone counts or broker fees, talking around those things. So I think there's just conversations to be had because business is business. Every client counts, and actually the ones doing the smaller deals will do the big deals in the future.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, interesting enough, in retrospect, I've always been so financial services led because I don't like recruitment. I don't like recruiters as a whole. I don't like that sharky cowboy. So you've always tried to stay away from it. But actually, in the last couple of years, I've met some great recruiters. So I've tried to stay out of my own industry, if you like, because I don't consider it my industry. I consider financial services my industry. But actually, you're right. Connecting with people, good like-minded people in my industry, because there are good recruitment people. Just there's not hundreds of them. But connecting with those people has actually made a difference to my business and learning about the way they structure things. And I feel like I probably missed out on a good few years for maybe being a bit like egotistical in regards to I don't want to associate with these people because financial services are my people. But actually, industry-wise, it's really good for your business, isn't it? Just to learn about what your peers are doing and have that contact.
Absolutely. And you know what? Fortunately or unfortunately, London is the hub of all these things. So I do have to get out there a lot. But like one of your previous guests, I think you've had Sai Nathan on.
Yeah,
You
great
know,
guy.
I've met him maybe 4 times, if that. But every time we meet, his energy is infectious. The way he does business, talks about business is
Yeah,
infectious. So I want to be around those kind of people
yeah.
and sharing best practices. There's things I can add to him and things he can add to me value wise.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. You're right, actually. He's and he does things the right way as well. He is one of those examples of you can be a top biller because of the way you do things as opposed to just through drive and getting every deal you possibly can. He had so much value to people outside of that guy is on the phone all day every day. Whether he's doing deals or not, yeah, incredible. So let's go back. So we talked before about you've got kind of 3 pillars to yours. Talk to me about what else you look for when you're kind of growing that business. What's important to you?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the three pillars, the way I look at it anyway is that I do a lot of networking, face to face, physical events. So there's loads of property networking events up and down the country. People say they can't find any and not looking hard enough. Simple answer. There's loads, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a great
face to face
excuse.
net.
There's none near
Yeah,
me. There is. You just got to get out of your house. It's just.
exactly. Go on Eventbrite and just put in property events near me. So simple as. So that's face to face networking. Then I'll do obviously the social media, personal branding, content, whatever you want to call it, and then online networking, which for me is getting in people's DMs, but doing it in the right way. And this is it. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll give you an example. I won't name her because I'll just keep it anonymous. So
Go on. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
when people DM people, well, I've noticed when people DM people, they either go one extreme or the other, right? They'll either be too direct and salesy straight away, or they'll be too bland and boring, and both of them will get ignored. So one, you'll get, hey Karen, let's just say Karen. Hey Karen, um, love what you do. Do you need a mortgage broker because I can help you? Or you'll get someone like, hey
That's what you
Karen, how you
generically
doing?
do.
Yeah, or it's like, hey Karen, how you doing? And it's just so boring. So
Hmm.
I'd be a lot more personal. I'll actually do research on the person. It sounds weird, but I'll spend a good 5 minutes just seeing what they're posting about, what their interests are, what can
Yeah.
I talk about that they've done that would interest them. So here, so I messaged this lady. Basically, we had no link. I had no idea who she was, except that she's been on a podcast that I've been on, and she was posting some clips. So I messaged her, say, listen, you've got some great energy in the podcast. What is it that you do? So I made it about her. She's like, oh, I do this. What do you do? I was like, I do this. And she's like, oh, well, my dad's getting into property in London. Do you want to give me your number? I'll share the number. I was like, hell yeah.
Amazing.
Like, here's my number.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it
That's not an
turns out when I was
accident,
doing
though. That's
some,
that law of attraction as well. Like you're working
yeah,
your ass off to attract those type of people by being on those
yeah.
podcasts and having that connection. So, it's
And and then Mark, sorry, just to backtrack on that, it
yeah,
turns out doing further due diligence, because she's posting more and more, and I'm seeing her stories and the algorithms pushing everything she's posting. She's going to be on some Netflix TV show, some reality show on Netflix next month.
blimey. So
Yeah, so I think when people say it's hard to do social media or hard to DM people, or it's all excuses, like you said.
yeah,
Um, DMing 50 people in the morning is not hard. You just type the message and press send. Social media is not that difficult. Like I do posts with videos in this office, or
yeah,
I'll be at the gym sometimes. I'll record like a 10-second panning shot and just put a caption of how to get a mortgage. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't have to be a face on there. It's just, but you have to post. That's the thing.
yeah. And what? Why do people? Why don't people? Because I know brokers aren't the most confident on it, and there's a lot of kind of. I see people when they say I feel it's a bit attention seeking and that kind of thing. Yeah, it is. It is because I'm trying to seek your attention to
You want
get you
attention.
that mortgage. What do you class the rest of your marketing as? Like what's the billboard about? Like that's trying to.
Yeah, I think, and I follow a few sales coaches, so this is, I guess, regurgitating that stuff I've heard. But people don't treat it like a job. If so if I'm a business owner,
Hmm.
and if I woke up and said I need to be motivated to do social media, well, when I had a job, I didn't have to have motivation to do my job.
Yeah,
Get up, do the work, go to
get it
sleep,
done.
and do it again. And as simple as that. Treat it like a job. It's necessary, and you do it. Now, I get it. Some people don't like how they look on camera. I'm still getting used to it, or their voice and all this sort of stuff. But no one cares, because as long as what you're posting is valuable and it adds value to their life and it's not self-serving, that's what's important. People don't. You care more about yourselves than they do.
100%. I said this to people before. 99 of the problems that you've got about social media are in your head because no one gives a shit. And also, if they do, like, I don't know the people that I don't resonate with because they just scroll on and they probably call me a prick behind my back. What I do know is the guys that I do resonate with because they message me and say, this is really poignant at the moment for us. Would love to have a chat. So
Yeah.
don't worry about the people that don't care about it. They're not your people. This isn't, it's not important.
Again, I've been at some events, and like I say, at the events, because people know to a certain degree who I am, they'll approach me and ask for
Yeah.
help around socials. And this chap was like, Shaz, I love your content. I'm an investor. I want to post some stuff that I do, but I'm really scared. What will my family say? My friends, they'll just laugh at me. And I said, that's fine. They probably will. But are they your customers? Are they going to make you any money ever? No, probably not. I'm like, so, okay, so what are you using social media for? Are you trying to pick up women, or are you trying to make business and get money? Business. I was like, yeah, well, post. No one, like, so those people, they're not even haters. They're just people who've got some spare time doing nothing.
It's
They're
only
not your
taking the piss.
customers.
No, like my mates take the mick all the time if I turn up for
So
meetings.
do mine.
They go, Mr. LinkedIn and all that nonsense. But they're pleased for you. You know, they're your mates. They're supposed to take the piss. It would be weird if they didn't.
Exactly.
No one's actually there to. No one cares enough. Like, you know, you won't lose a mate over it, and if you do, they're not your mate, are they? It's a weird perception, especially that of what are people going to think of me. You know, you think of like serious mortgage broking when guys start out on TikTok, and you're like, this is ridiculous. TikTok's for dancing 12-year-olds. I thought the same thing, which is madness because every new platform that we've used has brought in success. But yet I still see something new and go, oh, you know, the old man in me still goes, oh, that's not really aimed at our type. So you've got to embrace it, haven't you? You've got to embrace that, because then you look at guys who are making, you know, a ridiculous amount of leads on TikTok and Instagram, and, you know, it's crazy. And there's enough to go around. People think it's saturated, but that's because we see each other all the time, because we're always in that kind of bubble.
Yeah, I mean, I think they call it abundance mindset. There is enough to go around. And people say to me sometimes, why are you helping such and such mortgage broker? And I'm just like, why not? Like, if someone needs help them. Me helping someone get business is not taken away from me at all. And actually, reciprocity, they'll probably help me in the future at some point.
Yeah. I think Ricky Schofield put it on the other day about, he was speaking to some brokers and they were told to stop liking other brokers' stuff because it's detrimental to your business. So I was like, there's not enough. If you honestly think that, you are going to struggle. If you've got the opposite of the abundance mindset, if you've got that closed mindset where you're thinking, this is it now. If I like that guy, so like, he's not stealing your bloody portfolio because you've liked his stuff. He's put something on there that you've liked because you genuinely liked it. You're not even trying to build that guy's business. It's just something that you agree on. But I mean, to have that closed mindset of like, let's keep everything to ourselves, I think that's where people fall down, especially at the moment when the market gets a little bit more challenging, when we kind of need each other to lead on.
Yeah, and you'll see in times like this who actually is a true supporter and who's doing it for self-serving reasons. But sometimes, very rarely though, if someone posts something and I'm like, you know what, when it's relevant, when it's timely, and I probably couldn't do a better job of that video, I'll just reshare the video, because not everything needs to be done by me. Someone else can just have the content.
I'll steal it later. I'll steal it from them.
Exactly. I'll reword it as something else. And also, I think these days I'm finding, especially on Instagram, that collaborative posts and content are doing really well. So why not collaborate with someone in your industry? You'll have a shared audience and some overlaps and some different people. You've got to be open to these sorts of things.
Yeah. How does someone get started then? If they're a complete novice and they want to start doing it tomorrow, what do they do? Because they don't use fancy equipment and stuff, do they? But talk to me about the start point for someone.
Fine. So when I first started social media, like I said, no clients, no nothing, blank slate. I actually used Facebook first of all, and on Facebook there's loads of like property investor groups and landlord groups. You'd have people asking questions. This is my situation in 3-4 sentences. I need some help. Can someone recommend a mortgage broker? Like, that's the general gist of what you get asked. Now, the responses to that, you get 5 mortgage brokers just going, I can help. Here's my number. DM me. That.
Yeah.
Then you'd get 5 maybe investors saying, I can introduce you to my broker, or here's a tag of my broker. And I just use a completely different approach. There were a few people doing it. I mean, Jonathan Sherwood was doing it. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I know him.
Where it'd be like, based on what you've said, this lender might be able to help you. You might also want to try X, Y, and Z. And if you want any more information, we'll be happy to have a chat.
Smart, now, adding value. It's like it's a brand new concept, isn't it?
Adding value, showing that you know what you're on about, and offering further assistance without being a salesy kind of person. So that worked really well initially on the Facebook side of things, because it built up the fact that people thought I knew what I was doing. And what would happen is I would do that reply, but then someone completely unrelated would message me saying, I saw that you replied on that post. I've also got another problem. Can you help me? And that'd be a DM. And that got a fair bit of business and traction. It took me a while to get confident using Instagram because it's a visual medium.
Yeah.
But again, I'm
pretty. I like it. It's good. I'm not on Instagram. I need to be more on Instagram. I know I've got it written up on a poster now. My thing about being more visual. But my business is on LinkedIn. But I also know I'm one bad comment away from being kicked off there all the time. So I've got to share my clients out a bit. But so back to yours. I think some of your stuff.
Yeah. So jumped on Instagram and I didn't really want to show my. Don't do selfies. Don't want to do videos. So I'm pretty good at graphic design. I did that in university. So I just did loads of, if you go on Instagram, you'll see how over-designed some of my posts were, carousels with little text curling. So I did loads of text posts. And again, people loved them because it was just a value. wasn't like, hey, call me, or I've, you know what, one thing I hate, so brokers will say, I've got access to a lender that does this.
Yeah,
And it's like, there's no secret wall, there's no secret source. Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
stop being that person.
That's why
So yeah,
marketing's so important as well. By the way, I know people don't seem to realize this when they're like, none of us have got a product that no one else can sell.
yeah,
Like there's no one's got this secret product. Like your skill is in your marketing and attracting clients. And you know you can be. I mean, you can still get shit brokers, but you know there's only so good you can be. You know, so
yeah.
you have to really concentrate on that marketing as a whole, as opposed to trying to hoodwink people into thinking you've got something that no one else has.
And the funny thing, Marcus, though, is let's say you did have an exclusive product. Let's just say Shawbrook Bank said you're one of 10 brokers in the country to have this preview. Why would you not name the bank because you're one of 10 that've got
Do
access?
it anyway. Yeah,
Like, it just makes no sense.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, did all of that, and then I started getting a bit more comfortable doing pictures, reels, videos, and it was the same sort of thing. I'd regurgitate some of my older posts, put them on video style format, keep them less than a minute, and I think initially I just tried all different types. Do you want to do stuff in the office looking into camera? Do you want to do podcast type videos? Do you want to do day in the life of? Tried all sorts, see what I was comfortable with, see what worked well, and got from there. Now I don't like having the pressure to post. So I don't do things like Wednesday wrap ups or Friday
Yeah,
review of the
yeah.
market because it to me that would be too much pressure. That every
You talk
Friday I've
about
got
the
to sit
base rate.
down.
Everyone's got to talk about the base rate. Otherwise, you're not really a broker unless you've mentioned it more.
Yeah, and I don't need that. So there's no like consistency in that sense where it's like
Yeah.
every Friday Shaz is doing a live where everything it doesn't
Hmm.
happen. For me, it's like if I go to a fancy networking event at a nice venue, I'll obviously post a reel because I'm at a nice event and
Yeah.
there's a nice location.
Also, people want to see that
Um,
as well. You're astute enough to know that people will click on stuff if it looks nice. If you're at something
yeah,
decent, people want to see it, whether it's broken or not.
I want to share my lavish lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, the life of a broker. And really, you're sat on the tube drinking a Costa for most of it, but you get that 20 minutes
Absolutely.
in a lavish hotel.
um, but what I've learned again, you learn more about yourself and how you're comfortable. So now, what I'm really comfortable with is I'll keep my microphones on me. If I'm at a coffee shop, again at a fancy bar or something, I'll just clip the mic on, talk to the camera for 30 seconds, and that's content. And I'm more comfortable doing that than actually pre-preparing something and sitting in the office looking at the camera. But
Are
you
you
learn, you
always
develop,
about
and
content as well, though, Shaz? Are you? Because I've kind of got this brain now where you're walking along thinking that's content. Like, are you content conscious now because you know it has to be done?
yes and no. So yeah, I'm always thinking of content and ideas, and sometimes if I've had one coffee too many, I'll be like, yeah, I've got an idea, and I've got to get it out of my system now. Someone record me. Um, but I can go a week or 2 weeks without posting. It doesn't affect anything, and that is really important, Marcus. Just to maybe be a bit more
Yeah,
valuable on
yeah.
this is in terms of growing a business. You know, if Instagram shut down tomorrow, could my business still exist? Yes.
Mhm.
If there were no more networking events for the rest of the year, could my business still exist? Yes, because I'm doing that triple kind of
Yeah.
pronged marketing
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. You've got to have those other legs to the chair, if you like, just in case one slips away.
Yeah,
Were you
exactly.
conscious of that before? Was that a conscious decision to make sure that everything was separated just in case one thing fell apart, or did it just naturally kind of work like that?
Very good question. I think naturally, I just want to be everywhere. I want to be omnipresent. You know, I want people who are getting into property investing when they think of finance to think about speaking to me, not to necessarily be a client, but to get some advice because they know that I'm friendly, I'm responsive, I'm approachable, and I'll give them a no BS direct answer. Like I don't do small talk. Unless I'm really interested, I'm not going to ask you how you are, and if I am, I'll ask you at the end of the conversation after we've done the business bit. You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, like I just want to be known as that person that's happy to have a chat, give you what you need, and isn't going to waste your time. And so far, it's worked well. Like I'm based in South Wales, I do a lot in the Midlands, a lot up in Manchester, and at those events, when I go to the physical events, people know who you are. Obviously, social media and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I just say don't rely too much on social media because you need it. It's not a business. It's your data is not yours.
It's a lead generation like anything else, isn't it? It
Yeah,
brings in some of your business. But let's talk about that actually, because I know we touched on it offline about you. You're conscious of it. I know people are. And I spoke to one of my clients about this as well. I said, you need to get online because everything you say is wicked. We're closely aligned like that. I said, but no one knows. And he said, yeah, but I've got 20 staff. I don't want to, my personal brand can't overtake the company brand. I think that's a bit of an excuse not to go on for one. But How do you see that growing as you scale your business, that your personal brand is so strong, how it moves over into a company brand? Or are you comfortable? Because I'm in the same as you. Like, my personal brand is stronger. I don't think a lot of people know what companies we work for. They know your face, they know smiley bold guy, but they just but so how does that work when you scale? In your opinion, is anything gonna change, or you just keep it the same?
It's a very no, it's a very, very, very appropriate question, especially right now. So as it is right now, yeah, my personal brand is up here, business brand is there, and I barely do anything with the business brand. But the reason for that is people ask me, Shaz, are you busy? And the answer to that question genuinely is I'm as busy as I want to be. So my work-life balance is exactly what I want. I could have more cases, but I'd rather not because it'll affect everything else.
Yeah.
So that's capacity. However, once I take on other brokers and they're settled and they're able to do business, suddenly that capacity increases. And I think that's when the business brand will kick into action.
Yeah.
And in fairness, because I've had other businesses not to do with finance where I've managed to scale them up as well. I know I can do a good job with that and make it its own little entity.
How was the social media in those though? Were they a personal brand initially, or were they straight away corporate? This is the business.
Well, it was gourmet burger restaurants. It wasn't corporate. It was,
But still, it was the business as opposed to Shaz.
It was a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a business. I have skills.
You're always running that tightrope of personal brand is so important. People buy from people. I honestly don't think. I think we touched on it, that I don't think people would not buy from you because it's not you that gives them the mortgage. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to every meeting for us. I don't interview candidates, and there's lots of things I don't do because I'm doing the business. So, we've got a great team of 8 people who probably haven't got maybe the social media presence that I have, but no one goes, oh, well, that geezer didn't turn up. I was expecting him to turn. You know what I mean? I got my business coach. She's so prominent online, and I was telling her this problem, and she said to me, so out of interest, when you phoned me, who took the meeting? And I was like, oh, a lady called so-and-so. She went, so it wasn't me then. And I went, oh, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think maybe that's my own insecurity, perhaps. I should trust that people trust me enough that I'm not going to put them in the wrong hands.
Exactly. So I don't think they're going to assume that you're going to hire knobheads if you've built this brand up so well and what you've achieved. You assume that you hire people on the same values, etc. So everyone knows that everyone that works in this business, for instance, has the same ethics and values as me, because otherwise you're not growing a business, are you? It would be ludicrous. So, yeah, it's funny though, isn't it? It's a limiting kind of mindset when we look at corporate brand against personal, but I suppose we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll have another one of these in a couple of years and find out what you did. Yeah.
No, I mean, again, there's people in the industry who've done it really well, and hats off to them. So it's definitely possible. It's just, I guess, again, progression and navigating that as it comes.
I could only name you maybe 2 brokers whose corporate brand is bigger than their personal brand. I don't think there's many that have a bigger.
I can think of, I mean, as much as I like them, Affinity, Jamie Lewis and Rebecca Lewis, they've got good personal brands, but their business brand probably is on par with them. It's a tough one. I mean, look, Kim from Vibe, Kim's personal brand is everywhere, but so is Vibe, if I'm honest. Vibe is also a brand.
Yeah, but Kim's personal brand is bigger than a corporate, in my eyes. But it depends.
Yeah, no, definitely is. Yeah,
but it's tricky, isn't it? Because that's what I mean. Like, there's some really successful people that you assume their corporate brand is quite big, and actually, if you boil it down, Jamie and Kim are great examples of. They've also got a fantastic corporate, a personal brand out there. But it's interesting. It's something that people ponder on, isn't it? They weren't the 2 I had in mind, actually, but I won't say mine because I might. But it is interesting, isn't it, about personal and corporate, and how you kind of mix the two, because it's that ever-ending problem of making them that up.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say. So when I did start the business brand on Instagram, from day dot, I hired a social media manager. I said, look, I don't want this to be my voice. I want you to do all the captions, all the posting. It didn't work out because she wasn't great, but that's how I wanted.
It's not your voice, so it is relative. It's that matching thing as well, isn't it? Like, if someone posted all my stuff, like, I hopefully, and the same as your stuff, like, your humour comes out in it because it's you. Like, you believe stuff that I don't know if you're like me, but I probably rashly answer things because I think they're funny, and then look back and go, oh shit, I was all right with that. That's what I mean, like, about being one comment away from being kicked off everything. But if you had a social media manager all the time, I think you would lose that little edge that does resonate with people that I like to work with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think just a couple of things around social media for people is it's about self-awareness. So I know that I'm really quite soft-spoken. So sometimes I can say things or get away with things that other people probably can't because I say them in such a soft way.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, it's just back to being yourself. So, for example, I know I'm not particularly funny. Like, I'm not a jokey person. I'm pleasant, but I'm not funny. So don't try. If you're not funny, don't try and be funny. If you're not, be yourself because it's not going to work long term. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
It's good. Yeah, it's a self-awareness. I think I'm bloody hilarious, so I'm probably just completely unself-aware. You know?
Yeah.
But so I have taken you for longer than I said I would, but I genuinely appreciate. I've enjoyed today. It's been good fun, especially talking about social media. I think a lot of people can take it from it. But so, if you're, I ask everyone this at the end, but if you had one bit of advice for someone starting out, so you a year ago, what would it be? You could only give them one bit. What would it be? What bit of advice would you give them?
The advice would be to go all in with 110% effort, be consistent, be disciplined. Motivation only takes you so far, discipline takes you much further.
Amazing. That is a really good shout. Fantastic. Great way to end it as well. Thank you very much, Shaz. I appreciate your time today. It's been really good.
Man.
And thank you everyone listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all soon. Cheers, Shaz.